And thank you for staying with us this morning on the AM Report. So let's go to this chat now. ActionSA has merged with the political party for Forum for Service Delivery. ActionSA says that the union will strengthen both parties' presence in preparations for the 2026 local government elections. This means that the Forum for Service Delivery will now campaign and contest the elections under the banner of Herman Mashaba's party. The Forum has 38 municipal seats in 5 provinces, which includes a mayor, 8 MMCs and 8 chairpersons of the Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Mashaba says that this marks the first of many steps towards uniting the opposition in South Africa, and he now joins us in studio to have that conversation. Mr. Mashaba, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Good morning, and good morning to the listeners. Thank you for the opportunity to unpack this really milestone achievement that ActionSA has really delivered for the people of South Africa.
How long has this been in the pipes?
It started late September. Remember, in August, made a pronouncement about pulling out of Tshwane. And for some reasons, then I went overseas, and on my return one day I get a call from President of Forum for Service Delivery, Dr. Kekana, who I had never met before. I knew a little bit about this organization. I accepted to see him. And I think within half an hour of our discussion, it was like music to my ears. And had probably 10 or so subsequent meetings with our technical teams, culminating with the announcement yesterday. So it's really exciting, because I think in the beginning, I thought, as much as I was really excited, I said, will it be done? Because the only way it can make sense, if I look at Forum for Service Delivery and ActionSA in terms of global recognition, ActionSA has got a bigger recognition. As much as Forum for Service Delivery is much older than us, as you are aware, they are 10 years old. But I think what impressed me most about them is the ability to mobilize on the ground with no resources, with literally no resources. And Dr. Kekana, as you are aware, we've created a position of a deputy president. So that's another exciting part about this relationship, that now in terms of succession planning, preparing for elective conference, Dr. Kekana is going to take those responsibilities away from me, so that I can actually focus on other bigger pictures of our party.
Yeah, and what does that job entail as the deputy president of ActionSA? Is that the title?
Yeah, he's the deputy. He's
the official deputy president
of ActionSA. Exactly.
So what does his job entail?
So some of the major responsibilities, we're busy with him to really look at the role that he's going to play. But I can tell you now that one of his focus, and that's something that he's very good at, it's ground mobilization. I mean, this guy's Aldrin, I know for years as a journalist, I'm sure you know how they performed in 2016 and 2021. And you look at the resources that they had. That shows, obviously, I think, these councillors led by Dr. Kekana, really they know things that I don't know, you know, in terms of getting ground support. So he's going to take that responsibility to ensure that ActionSA has got credible branches. We want to see branches being launched. We want to see membership growth. We want to see political activity throughout the country. He's going to take over those responsibilities, things that personally, as Herman Mashaba, I don't have experience in those things. You know, I come from the capitalist world most of my life. That is really what I know best. But at the end of the day, politics is about our daily lives. So that's why I've decided in 2016, 2015 to accept entering politics, because I realized, looking at what the public reps were doing in our country, and I said to myself, if these guys can do it, I'm sure I can do it as well. So I'm learning, but then I'm actually expediting our impact in society by bringing people like Dr. Kekana. And as you've indicated in your opening remarks, this is the beginning of many. So watch the space.
Watch the space. So the other thing is around the elective conference. Michael Bowman had said last year that ActionSA's elective conference will be in the first quarter of this year. During the press briefing yesterday, he said that the elective conference, which will now include members from both political parties, will happen soon. What does this mean?
Well, I think it really depends. It's in our constitution. Fortunate enough, what we're talking about, it's in our constitution. Bear in mind, Adrian, we're only 4 years old party, 2 years of which really under COVID. So we are not going to be pushed by outside forces to have elective conference when we don't have structures. I've always said to anyone asking us to hold an elective conference with who? With the Mashaba clan. No, our elective conference has got to have branches and structures throughout the country. So ActionSA needs to really focus on that. That is why the measure with Forum for Service Delivery, it actually helping us to ensure that we can have those structures. Once we are satisfied that we have at least 60% of the branches covered, so then we will call an elective conference, so that our leadership is not so that our leadership is not elected by the Mashaba clan.
Yeah. So do you have a date for this?
You can't put the cart before the horse. Sure, to have an elective conference, you must have the branches and membership. That's the first thing, you know. So what I'm trying to say, we can't put the horse, the cart before the horse. We as ActionSA, we'd really want to have it. It's in our constitution that in the event we've got the structures 9 months after the previous elections, we want to. Yes. But at the end of the day, it is going to really depend. So we will see how quickly Dr. Kekana will push. But we are not going to be. One thing that I want South Africans to know,
is it fair
no one is going to push us to really have an elective conference when our systems are not in place.
So is it fair to conclude right now that ActionSA will not go to a conference by the end of March this year?
Well, it depends. If Dr. Kekana can really pull some strings to ensure that we have proper credible structures, because right now we are now represented in 14 municipalities with people who have got the constituencies, but we've got to really make sure that they are credible. We've got to do audits and so forth. So it's really going to depend, but we are not going to run an elective conference because people who have no interest. When we started ActionSA, they were not there. The idea behind pushing us to have an elective conference, it's not for us to really have an elective conference. It is just to really disrupt us. And one thing for sure, I'm sure you know me, you've interviewed me for many years, even from your youth. I'm not going to be pushed by anyone. And ActionSA is not going to be pushed by anyone.
And I think
we will do what is in the best interest of our party, and we'll do in the interest of our members and the interest of our country.
And I think maybe that is it. Even in the language that you use, that I will not be pushed. If you take into consideration the appointment of Mr. Kekana, how do we understand that appointment? It's a decision that was taken by the president of ActionSA.
By Senate.
By
Senate, because we had to, if you look at our constitution, we've now taken a decision. You'll see within the next 14 days, visit our website. There is now, because there was no provision for a deputy president before. So Senate, if you look at and read our constitution, the thing is people operate on the basis of what they've got in their minds when they're sleeping or drinking. Without reading our constitution. Read our constitution. There was no provision for a deputy president. Once we agreed on this and realized the strategic importance of having a deputy president, so we have to consult the Senate, we have to consult our PCs all over the country for them to give us the arrangement. And that provision is in our constitution. We then receive the mandate, and you will see within the next 14 days, visit our website, you'll see now there is a provision for
and then also another amendment would be the dual membership. So that the Forum for Service Delivery members who are councillors will be able to still retain those positions in the various councils so that they don't lose them and then trigger a by-election. For how long is that intended to last, or does ActionSA believe that the dual membership will remain in place? Is it perhaps maybe a tactic that you'd want to use to try and lure in other political parties that are already represented in the various legislatures?
Well, I think if one understands the constitution and the legislative framework of our country, including compliance with the IEC, so obviously if they leave Forum for Service Delivery, join ActionSA, they will lose that seat. So, I mean, we have to really be stupid to lose that opportunity. So basically, that is why, as part of our agreement, we've allowed only the councillors to have dual membership, because our constitution did not allow dual membership. So you'll see part of the amendment to our constitution is to allow strictly only the councillors to have dual membership of Forum for Service Delivery and ActionSA. But when we contest the 2026 local government elections, they are going to contest as ActionSA. And immediately after the election, the membership of Forum for Service Delivery is going to cease. They will then become full members of ActionSA, no longer. So this is just a temporary arrangement to ensure that we don't lose the seats in the various municipalities where they're represented.
And as Michael Bowman was saying yesterday as well, that they will be following the policies of ActionSA. Is my understanding correct?
Absolutely, with immediate effect. I mean, just to give you an example, the Ditsobotla main municipality here, where the mayor there is a Forum for Service Delivery. So we have a huge responsibility as ActionSA. I mean, that municipality is in big trouble. So, but we have to go and provide the technical assistance, financial assistance, really mobilize society, including the business community, to work with us to turn that municipality around. So all the councillors now, when they represent and speak in council and engages in council, they will engage as ActionSA. When they go out and campaign in their communities, they're going to campaign as ActionSA. But what we'll have to do, Dr. Kekana and I are going to be we're taking a massive roadshow, making sure that all their supporters are aware about this. They've already started the engagement, but we need to now that it's formalized, we need to, you can imagine, you must feel sorry for me that I'm going to be missing so much of my family time, going crisscrossing the country like when I was selling cosmetics in the 80s.
Well, at least you've got experience with regards to that. Then with the PR list for ActionSA as well as the Forum for Service Delivery, should we anticipate some changes to the PR list? This is now speaking about municipalities where you have councillors that are on the PR list to say that instead of having a Forum for Service Delivery councillor in this particular position, can we change that person with somebody else that we believe is more capable to achieve the goals that you have in terms of ActionSA, because it's now following ActionSA policies?
No, but look, I think to really be fair and do the right things, with all the current councillors, we have no reason to remove them unless, obviously, they do something stupid that can compromise both our political parties. So currently, between now and 2026, we have absolutely no reason whatsoever, unless, as I said, they do something stupid that will compromise our parties. But for the 2026, I think they will be subjected to the process which we will announce later this year in terms of who's going to be standing as what councillors, who's going to be standing as PR. So of both ActionSA and Forum for Service Delivery will be competing on the same standard. Okay.
Just quickly in conclusion, Stilfontein Mine and what's happening there. I'd like to hear your views around this. I was seeing yesterday, even while the focus was on this merger between ActionSA and Forum for Service Delivery, some people saying that what is currently taking place in Stilfontein, and responding to you actually, is that it's so much reminiscent of the Lily Mine tragedy. But unfortunately, with the Lily Mine tragedy, the bodies have still not been retrieved. Well, as with Stilfontein, we are seeing that the bodies are being retrieved. As party leader of ActionSA, what do you read into this? And do you still believe that there's a possibility to retrieve the bodies of the mine workers of Lily Mine who still remain trapped underground?
You know, Aldrin, the Lily Mine, it's actually one of the most brutal human rights violation of the 3 families. I think we've got to be ashamed ourselves, all 60 million South Africans. Honestly, we must take responsibility for this because 3 innocent, hardworking, law-abiding citizens woke up, going to work, and within hours went down the belly of the earth. And has South Africa taken interest in this matter, including our own government lying to us that container could not really be retrieved? On the 5th of this month, in just 2-3 weeks' time, we are planning actually the 9th anniversary of that tragedy, where, as you are aware, in October 2023, the Mbombela Magistrate Court came out with a judgment that all those responsible must be criminally charged. Mine management for negligent mining, because this mining company received 2 reports 2 years before the collapse of the mine, that what you guys are doing, it's really very dangerous. So the court said they must be criminally charged, the mine management. The court made a judgment that police who frustrated the families and harassed them, they must be criminally charged. Senior members of the Department of Minerals and Energy who covered this matter must be criminally charged. Here is it. It's what now, over a year later, or 18 months, the NPA literally is refusing to prosecute. They are in defined of a court judgment. And I really find it really very difficult that South Africans, the last month or so, we've been focusing on criminalities, saying criminals must be assisted. And my personal view and the view of ActionSA is that this matter did not really make sense. These miners at Stelfontein, when they voluntarily, actually they're coming into our country, some of them illegally. And I find it really very strange that we're a country that when we adopted our constitution in 1996 was to protect the criminals, not law-abiding citizens, which is really very unfortunate. And that's something that we will I am in politics and some of us are in politics to say, is this constitution and the human rights for criminality? Is it not for law-abiding citizens? So I have personally got no sympathy whatsoever, more especially looking at what this country...
Even for the 78 who are dead?
Do we have sympathy for the 3 law-abiding citizens?
You can have sympathy for both.
No, I don't have sympathy for criminality.